go wild, you'll live in that cell 24 hours a day.
My name's Derek.
Bradley. I'm gonna go work out.
Hey, you do not want to get near those guys.
I'm gonna use that one.
We're using it now, gringo.
Don't call me a foreigner.
Wanna start some stuff?
I'm more of a finisher. Now get the fuck out of my crazy way.
Show us 10 fingers and we'll shoot.
You just lost your minimum freedom. Going to 99.
The film begins with Thomas Bradley towing a car to the garage where he works. It turned out that his supervisor was waiting for him in front of the workshop, wanting to discuss something urgent. He was intrigued by his boss's odd body language and wondered what he may say. His assumption proved accurate, as the economic crisis led to his dismissal. Shortly after, he collected his belongings and left the workshop. Bradley arrived home to find his wife, Lauren, on the phone while sitting in a car parked in front of his house. Bradley, suspecting that his wife was calling someone, went over and opened the car door. He told her about his recent job dismissal. While speaking with his wife, he spotted red kiss marks on her neck. Jealous, he snatched his wife's cell phone and checked the latest call. It turned out that his wife had simply called another man. He yelled at his wife and ordered her to enter the house. After that, he released his rage by wrecking his wife's car, hitting the rearview mirror, and forcibly removing the hood. Bradley met Lauren in the house for a one-on-one talk and asked how long she had been having an affair. His wife then confessed to having an affair with another man for 3 months. After Lauren miscarried, she was heartbroken, and Bradley, growing busy with his career, didn't have time for her. After sharing their sentiments, Bradley invited his wife to start a new life, which Lauren accepted. Bradley planned to work with Gil, a drug courier, after his dismissal from the repair shop. When he told his wife, she disagreed with his decision. Bradley, on the other hand, was sure that the current severe economic conditions would make it difficult for him to find work immediately. 18 months later, Bradley started working as a drug courier. He delivered a package to a drug dealer at an apartment before driving home. His family's economic situation began to alter. He can now live in luxury, having moved into a larger and grander home. Lauren is pregnant again. While making out with his wife at home, Bradley receives a phone call from Gil, who invites him to his place. He then raced away. When Bradley arrives, he meets Gil's new associate, Eliezer. Eliezer runs a major drug ring in Mexico. Eliezer arrived with 2 of his men, Roman and Pedro, who are his couriers. Eliezer explained that these 2 men would accompany Bradley while he was on duty. Bradley, however, rejected Eliezer's plan because one of Eliezer's guys, Roman, appeared to be under the influence of drugs. Bradley was concerned that if Roman accompanied him, he would encounter difficulties. Eliezer defended his men, claiming that he had trained Roman. Gil convinced Bradley to undertake this crucial business task, promising him 3 months off following the baby's birth. Finally, Bradley accepted the offer on the condition that he lead the mission and that Eliezer's men cooperate. The 2 parties agreed. Bradley and Eliezer's crew immediately began their drug dealing task. At night, they arrived at a pier. Bradley and Eliezer's men began the task of collecting a narcotic package left on the seabed. They boarded a small yacht and set off for the open sea. When the yacht reached the middle of the sea, it came to a stop. Pedro prepared to retrieve the cocaine package by diving to the water floor. Not long after, Pedro discovered a massive box resembling a pirate's treasure chest, bound by chains. He broke the chain lock using a crowbar. Bradley and Roman assisted him in securing the narcotic package. Afterwards, the yacht returned to the dock. Bradley feared that the cops would ambush them as they cruised down the yacht. So he instructed Roman and Pedro to throw the narcotic package into the sea. Roman and Pedro fought after rejecting Bradley's instructions. In short, Bradley ultimately ended his relationship with Roman and Pedro. However, by the time they arrived at the pier's car park, the police had encircled Roman and Pedro, resulting in a gunfight. Bradley hurriedly returned to the yacht after observing the incident from a distance. Unfortunately, on the way, he heard a police officer requesting assistance. Bradley had to think quickly to avoid being suspected, so he claimed to be a citizen while assisting the police. He then shot Roman and Pedro. The shootout claimed Pedro's life, leading to Bradley's immediate capture and detention. A detective questioned Bradley at the police station and discovered that Bradley is a cunning individual who could deceive others. However, the cops weren't foolish. He received a 7-year prison sentence for murder and possession of prohibited firearms following his trial. The prison bus transported him to jail after his sentence. Bradley received a physical examination when he arrived at the prison. The jail warden then asked the detainees to handle over all their possessions, followed by a medical examination at the clinic. An elderly man named Lefty guided him to his cell on the top level. Andra, the jail warden, greeted Bradley as he entered his cell. Andra discussed the regulations for inmates while they were in prison. One of the rules required all prisoners to come out and stand in front of their cells when the bell rang. The jail warden promptly examined the inmates standing in front of their cells as night fell and the bell sounded. When all of the upstairs convicts arrived in front of the cell, Bradley was still deep asleep, and the inmates had to wait until he awoke. The prison warden chastised Bradley soon after he awoke. The prison warden instructed Bradley to be more disciplined and follow jail rules. Meanwhile, in Bradley's house, an intruder attacked Lauren, waking her from her sleep. She tried to scare the intruder away but unfortunately got shot with a stun gun. The abductor led Lauren to a mysterious location after she passed out. The following day, jail staff summoned Bradley to her office. Denise, the staff member, informs him that an obstetrician wants to meet with him. It turned out the doctor was his wife's obstetrician. The doctor wanted to talk about the issues Lauren had with her pregnancy. Bradley met Dr. Pellman the next day in the prison's receiving room. Dr. Pellman turned out to be Eliezer's henchman, who came to the prison to inform him that his employer had lost $3.2 million due to his failed drug transactions at the time. He then showed a shot of Lauren seated on a chair, her eyes closed and her hands chained. Dr. Pellman threatened to terminate Lauren's pregnancy if Bradley didn't follow Eliezer's wishes. Finally, they came to an understanding. They asked Bradley to kill Christopher Bridge, a life-sentenced criminal, as a means of atonement. The prisoner is in a different prison, namely cell block 99. The prison warden led Bradley back to his cell when he finished conversing with his guest. Before entering his cell, he abruptly removed his shoes and began striking Andre with it. A fight occurred. Bradley intentionally created a disturbance to facilitate his transfer to Redleaf Cell Block 99, a unique facility with maximum level of security.
You better stop now.
Hands on your head, now. Andre, you okay?
However, some of Andre's co-workers intervened and apprehended him. Bradley again attacked multiple prison guards on his approach to the cell, resulting in a fight. Bradley did this because he believed the disruption he had caused was insufficient to warrant transfer to the Redleaf region. After the battle, one of the jail guards electrocuted him and transported him to Redleaf prison. His wish had been granted. The warden received Bradley upon his arrival at Redleaf prison. The warden warned him that Redleaf is a maximum security prison with a low chance of parole. The warden led Bradley to cell number 59 after a physical examination. When he arrived at the cell, he was surprised to notice that the chamber was not in the same condition as the prior penitentiary. The cell suddenly appeared filthy, gloomy, and stinky. The cell chamber, which was connected to the open toilet, was full of excrement from past criminals. He couldn't stand the stench and took off his shirt to cover his nose. After laying in his cell for a long time, officers approached him and took him outside for 60 minutes of fresh air. A teenage inmate named Derek contacted him when he arrived on the prison grounds. Bradley then asked Derek if he knew about a prisoner named Christopher Bridge. Derek, on the other hand, stated that he was unfamiliar with the prisoner's given name. A minute later, Bradley approached 5 detainees who were exercising. Even though Derek had forbidden him from approaching the detainees, he nonetheless bothered them.
I'm gonna use that one.
We using it now, gringo?
Don't call me a foreigner.
Wanna start some stuff?
I'm more of a finisher. Now get the fuck out of my crazy way.
Show us 10 fingers and we'll shoot.
You just lost your minimum freedom. Going to 99.
Finally, the officers incapacitated him and immediately sent him to cell block 99 with his head covered. When Bradley arrived at cell block 99, they removed his blindfold and saw that it was incredibly solitary and underground. He donned an electric vest before entering the cell. As he stepped into the cell, he noticed broken glasses scattered across the floor. Meanwhile, Lauren's health appeared to be declining due to her imprisonment at a secret location. Dr. Pellman and a Korean abortion doctor were also present at the secret location holding Lauren captive. However, they had not yet conducted an abortion on Lauren, simply a preliminary assessment. The scenario changed back to prison. Bradley, lying limp in his cage, began screaming Christopher Bridge's name. Then the inmate next door responded that there was no inmate named Christopher Bridge. It wasn't long until the prison officers arrived to electrocute him, and he hobbled. The warden then informed Bradley that other convicts wanted to visit him. The warden escorted Bradley down a basement to meet the inmates. One of the convicts he encountered turned out to be Eliezer. Bradley then discovers that Dr. Pellman's desire to assassinate Christopher Bridges was a ruse to send Bradley to cell block 99, where Eliezer could torture him. Eliezer stated angrily that he had lost $3.2 million. Furthermore, he was imprisoned due to Bradley's actions, and his sister became a widow after he killed her husband Pedro during a fight at the dock. They repeatedly tortured Bradley until he weakened. They then showed him a photograph of his wife, Lauren, who appeared similarly limp and helpless. The officers forced Bradley back into his cell. Bradley devised a plan and tore the lining out of his shoes. He placed the rubber between his body and the belt to prevent the shocks. This enabled him to ambush Wilson and another guard, resulting in him killing Wilson. Bradley locked the second guard inside a cell. Bradley confronted Eliezer, and brutally killed all three henchmen in hand-to-hand combat.
Do what I say or I'll kill him. Kill Mr. Thomas and I'll double your wages. Have him kick in for your funeral.
Fuck you, gringo.
During the brawl, Eliezer called Dr. Pellman and instructed him to activate the abortionist. Bradley first tortured Eliezer by breaking his leg, then called Dr. Pellman to negotiate for Lauren's freedom. It was agreed that Dr. Pellman would deliver Lauren to Jill's house. Bradley dragged Eliezer into his own cell, across the broken glass, to await confirmation of Lauren's freedom. Warden Tuggs and his men arrived at Block 99, but Bradley threatened to kill his two hostages. Bradley stated that he was waiting for a phone call, and promised that he would surrender peacefully, exactly 1 minute after the call ended. Dr. Pellman and the abortionist followed Eliezer's instructions and drove Lauren unharmed to Jill's house. As they drove away, Gil retrieved a hidden assault rifle and killed Dr. Pellman. Lauren then took the rifle and shot the abortionist. Gil phoned Bradley to inform him that his family was finally safe. Bradley spoke to Lauren for the last time, and shared a few words with their unborn child. Bradley destroyed the cell phone, then reminded Warden Tuggs that he still had 60 seconds of freedom remaining. Bradley shoved Eliezer's face into the squat hole and stumped several times on his neck, decapitating Eliezer and leaving the head at the bottom of the toilet. Warden Tuggs and his men finally entered the cell. Warden Tuggs ordered Bradley to turn around with his hands behind his head. He turned around to face Warden Tuggs and his guards, who then brutally shot Bradley. Thanks for watching. If you are new, don't forget to subscribe for more of these recaps. Until next time, have a nice day.